You're listening to Punisher Waterfowls, the Union 0430 podcast. Brought to you by Real Geese Decoys, the most technologically advanced silhouette decoy on the market. First Light, the best hunting gear on the planet. Go farther, stay longer. And Ducklander Calls. Tradition, education, and quality. Built to hunt.
Punisher Waterfowls The Refuge is presented by Quick Coys, the fastest deployable, most portable, lifelike motion decoy product ever invented for duck hunters.
Hey everybody, this is Kyle Smock with Show Me Ducks, a proud sponsor of Punisher Waterfowls The Refuge this March at the Toronto Sportsman Show. Come check us out in the Refuge to see the Deep Diver 2.0, the Ice Quacker, and the Mini Quacker.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Union 0430 podcast, episode 210, and it's been a minute. I've just said it before we hit the record button. I think it's been 207 episodes since Mr. Brad Sanders has been on this show. So we've got Mr. Brad Sanders from Dixie Decoys joining us tonight, and we're going to get into a great conversation with him. But as you can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, we've got Phil and Craig on with us tonight. So awesome that we've got the two boys on, and Phil and Brad's had a long relationship with Dixie Decoys. So it's great to be able to have both of those guys on tonight. And I did want to just take a quick minute to thank our sponsors of Real Geese, Ducklander Calls, and First Light, as they've been amazing to us since we've been doing this show, and really can't thank them enough. And of course, the voice of the Union 0430, Captain Jeff Coates from Pit Boss Waterfowl. Okay, got that done. Brad, buddy, I don't know why it's been so long since you've been on the show.
I think you guys, you just got too big time for me. I'm too small potatoes. I'm too small potatoes for what you guys have built. So congratulations on your success.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the case. I think it got a little bit to do with maybe you were just too busy for us.
Is that what it is? Okay.
Yeah, I would say, hey man, listen, I'm not gonna lie. It's been a while since I've dove into Dixie Decoys and the website and really following everything that Dixie's got going on. And it's impressive, dude. Like it is growing and growing and growing. And I got to stop there because I did make a note that I had to say Mr. Brad Sanders is joining us tonight, and stress the Mister. Congrats on retirement, buddy, from the Marine Corps. Proud of you. I wish our paths would have crossed in some sandy desert somewhere, but they didn't. But again, congrats on retirement, and it's good to see you landing. Sticking that landing and landing on both feet.
Thank you. Yeah. 20 years is like they say it goes by in a flash. It's like you can't even describe how fast it went by, and you start just chunking years together of I was here, and then all of a sudden it's done, and then you dig deeper and you start all the people that you served with and the cool places you went and the Marines that you had the honor of leading, and incredible. But ultimately, and I said this in my retirement speech, like I'm still just the dumb kid that went and walked into the recruiter's office. Like I don't feel. I had some guys that for my first unit, we were kids. I still am a kid. We were kids together, and now, we're gray and they have kids, but it's like I had to somehow pretend to be an adult with gold oak leaves on my collar, but realistically, I get around these guys and we're just the same 18-year-old Lance Corporals that we were,
100%.
20 some years ago. So it's a weird dynamic like that, but hasn't really hit me yet. I don't know that it will, because I really had kind of a soft transition.
Yeah.
From active duty into Dixie Decoys, because I've been doing both for so long. So it was kind of just wake up one day and I didn't have to shave anymore, and that was about it, I
was going to make a beard comment.
Yeah, well,
first day of retirement, start growing.
Yeah. And
well,
so
especially the Marines. If you're part of the Canadian Army now, we've got some pretty lax rules up here right now. You'd be shaking your head if you were walking around a base up here. Anyways, we're not getting into that because I'll just absolutely fucking blow my top.
Let's go. Let's rabbit hole into grooming standards. I'm sure the listeners love that.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's getting bad around my parts too.
Oh fuck, I can only imagine. But no, buddy. Congratulations. 20 years goes by fast, and you know what? I think the most important thing in your transition is that you've got something that'll keep you busy. Post military, and you do have something to keep you busy, so you'll be fine. I think the fellas that get hurting and find themselves in trouble are fellas that just got too much time on their hands to think about shit, right? So you keep yourself busy and surround yourself with the people that you love. You'll be good, and your transition will be fine. I have no doubt in my mind.
Appreciate that. But
Phil, the other day when I was talking to him on the phone, I did make the comment that his beard game is coming in pretty good, and look, and Craig's is coming in. Craig's even trimmed his down now to get it in close to the face, and
Craig looks like Rudolph.
Yeah, my nose is red. I've been outside all day, and even this was done at the barber shop today. That's how long and gross it was getting.
It was getting straggly. It was like Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I could probably get in trouble for it.
Looking homeless.
Well, there's a joke there, but I won't say that. I won't say that either. No, Brad, buddy. In all honesty, though, I do have, like I said, I'm not going to lie. It's been a while since I really dove into everything Dixie Decoys, and then the last couple of days in preparation for you coming on the show, really starting to look at things, and you've grown so much, and even 207 episodes ago when you were on, you were doing t-shirts and stuff like that, but now I just look, and I was saying to Phil before you jumped on, I'm like, he's got this long point pullover. I'm like, that looks like the tits, man. I love it. It like the apparel that you're coming out with is and along with the decoys. If anybody was to search up Dixie Decoys and look at their website without reading anything and just looking at pictures, the one word that jumps out to me is tradition. And just going back to, or I shouldn't say going back, I should say just never forgetting the old way, right? And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is just cool. It's cool. It looks cool. It looks cool. It's a throwback to days gone by, but with today's technology, with regards to fabric and the whole bit, right? So, dude, like, congratulations, because Dixie Decoys looks like it's on fire right now.
Well, yeah, my head feels on fire right now. It's that time of year. Come talk to me in July when we are absolutely starving. I call, like, the middle of the year, we call it the starving times. It's like that episode or that show on National Geographic when the elephants are wandering through the desert, just like trying to make it to the next rain or whatever. Like, that's us in the middle part of the year. So talk to me then, and I'll be looking for something to do. But Yeah, man, it kind of to the military thing. When we talked, I had just got back from 3 years in Australia.
That's right.
That week, and we started this experiment a couple months before I left for Australia. Mm-hmm. So when I got back, we were 3+ years into this thing, and kind of felt like, hey, we survived and not to say that I have anything to do with the success of the company, but it's like we survived this. Yeah. Starting up a brand from 2 continents, Mm-hmm. So now let's get to work. And now we're talking today, and it's like there's more time behind me than there was, when we first started. And it's like, it's incredible. And the not only just the size of our company and the financial metrics and things like that, but just I'm really starting to feel like, and I don't know, I don't know. You guys would be able to tell me better than me, but I feel like we have a little bit of reach now. Mm-hmm. We still, people in my own town, and I drive around a truck that's completely branded with our logo and whatever. But people, so I don't mean to say everybody knows us, but it's the indicator is you start to see more canvasback logos on the backs of trucks now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And when we go do show, I'll probably, just apologize to your listeners if you ever come see us at a show. Like, folks come up and talk to me, like, it just happened this past weekend. Like we've been friends for 15 years, and it's like, I have no idea who you are, man. I have no. And they like, oh, we met here, and so we're meeting more people. We're expanding. It's getting more recognizable, and as is evidenced by you, basically, you just gave me like the perfect recitation of my brand message there, and I didn't have to tell you that, and you spit it right back out to me. So that tells me that like people are picking up what we're trying to do, which is, I think that's important. It's very important. Man, you start to feel a bit validated, and much like the podcast game, in the business game, certainly you have to be innovative and creative, and you need to be, financially savvy and all of these things. But to some degree, you just have to survive longer than other people.
Yeah. I believe you.
Just keep doing it.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to have, you look at some of the more recent entries into the industry, and like they come with a massive marketing budget, and so like they blow up right away, right?
Yeah.
We're not going to have that. That's never going to happen for us. Our model is just survive, like just stick around, and you start to earn trust, and it grows. And I think that growth is probably more stable too.
Yeah, I think that's a fair, just looking at the website and then looking at the reviews, right? Like, so you click on a product and someone will write something about that particular product, right? And I'm not taking anything away from any of those other companies, like you said, that come in with the big splash and the big marketing budget, and they hit the ground running. I'm not taking anything away from them, but if you read the reviews of some of these big brand names, I don't want to sound like it's very generic, but it's, hey, I wore this during this hunt, and it worked as advertised, kept me warm, kept me dry, right? And that's usually the generic review that you see on products. But then when you go and you look at yours, you will see someone will say a nice throwback to some southeast tradition, or there's a little, it's a little bit more personal. So where I'm going with that is that, hey, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't wish I was First Light or Shen or some of these big giant Sitka or the owner of some of these brands. I'm not saying that. But there is something to be said about just not a quiet, but just having the love from your customers when they can tie some tradition or some value to your product that reminds them of a different time. And I think, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but I think that is what you're going for. And that's the sense that I get anyways.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. We like our mission statement, we exist to inspire the moments that preserve the sporting tradition.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And to those reviews, in our customers, nobody is lukewarm on Dixie Decoys.
Yeah.
But that's both sides of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's either, on the negative side, it's why don't your decoys have eyes that look like a second grader painted it, or the price, like there's no way, that. So there's that.
Yeah.
But then there's the people who post the reviews, the picture of them and their 6-year-old boy of the decoy that's 7 different colors, that they went and shot his first wood duck over. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
There's those reviews. Or the people who buy decoy paint from us or boat paint and like, hey, I restored these old herders decoys and my grandpa had these and I remember the pictures and now I'm hunting over them again. And thank you for putting together the paint templates to make it easy. And the apparel, like we pride ourselves on the classic style you want, the modern performance you demand.
Yeah.
So everything from a Jones hat to a Jeep hat and our frog skin camo, it reminds people that somebody a long time ago took the time to preserve the sporting tradition for them and for us. So it's now on us to preserve the sporting tradition for the next generation.
100%.
And so, with that, you don't our when we have a customer, when we acquire a customer, like it's not transactional. It's relational.
Right.
So you have a very, we don't have as wide of a customer base as some of those larger brands that you mentioned, but we have a very passionate customer base. And I'm glad to see that when you create a mission-driven brand, you're trying to affect a behavior change in whatever direction or whatever that is. Like you're trying to accomplish something, and that thing is not just like make millions of dollars and sell off the company and go hire on a yacht. No, it's like we are trying to achieve some level of societal impact here through a business. And so when you start seeing people live that mission or read it back to you without telling them, like what you just did there, that's like, it's working. It's working. Back to the original point, like you just have to survive. Just keep going and it'll get there.
No, absolutely. And then, and it'd be foolish for me to sit here and talk about all this without, pulling Philly into this, because Philly has been, and I started it when I started the introduction on the show, like you and Philly have had a relationship for a long time. And Phil, I would hazard to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, and Brad, you too, I guess, but Philly, I don't think anybody was using Dixie before I had heard. Like you were the first person I ever heard tell of using Dixie Decoys, and you were using them religiously up here when you were diver hunting them, when you were guiding up here and doing your own thing, right? So,
I think I own the largest Dixie spread in Canada.
You do.
That is a self-proclaimed title.
I can tell you. Now we've moved a few decoys up that way, but not in the volume that. But it helps when you can trailer them across the border too.
Well,
yeah, that helped huge.
That do help. But Phil, like for you, you were again, and you came in, right out of the blocks, right? Like first when Dixie was starting up, Brad was in Australia. His brother-in-law was sort of kind of. Right, your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your brother-in-law was sort of kind of running things in the States. You were in Australia, Philly. You came in. You started using them. It was through you that we met Brad and got Brad on the show the original time and stuff like that. But now today to see where Dixie is, and I know I've seen you do your thing with Dixie, and I've seen you introduce other people to it, and these, kids painted decoys. I've seen people do that as a result of a introduction that Phil has done. But Philly, how do you, like, you seen it like I said, right out of the blocks to where it is today? Like, how do you see the company grow?
Well, I can't say I was there from infancy. Like Dixie was definitely.
We were there from pretty close though.
Ish.
Yeah.
But like being a part of the brand and some of the growth, and like hopefully a bit of help growing things into Canada. Like it's been amazing to see the ride, and honestly, one of the coolest things, and maybe the smallest thing, but one of the coolest things is when we were at the Sportsman Show back in March. I want to say, I think it was Kyle Van Runt, but I could be mistaken. Showed up and he was talking with us at the booth wearing a Dixie hat.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it was one of the camel front plain mesh backs.
Yeah.
There you go.
With the big patch on the front. Yeah, like I say, like that was one of the coolest moments. It's like being a part of the brand and attempting to try to grow things here in Canada, and just seeing someone show up with a hat. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah. I went up to him like, dude, that's an awesome hat. He's like, I know.
Yeah, I know.
How did you get introduced to it, Phil?
Just searching the web or net, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Like everyone complained, and Brad knows this. Everyone complained about the weight of the decoys. My boat has never given me grief about it. I'm not hiking 3 miles through the timber of Arkansas to go hunt divers in a puddle.
Yeah.
Like the weight's the least thing that I was ever concerned about. It's the durability, and like I've seen, unfortunately, a couple of my decoys get shot.
It's going to happen when you're diver hunting.
100%. And they still float, and they're still in one piece, and it adds character. Because like I can go through I sold off all my divers because I haven't really been diver hunting much, but I kept all my Dixies obviously, and like I can go back through and look at a decoy with holes in it. I can remember that hunt because you can't do that with plastic decoys because they either end up in the recycling bin or the bottom of the lake.
But is that not the reason, Brad, that the decoys were made the way that they were, even back? Go back 50 years, 60 years. That was the reason why the decoys were made the way that they were made, the way that they were painted. Nobody on the eastern seaboard that was hunting divers was putting their decoys into a decoy contest to win top carver of the year. Like these,
and they weren't putting eyes on them.
That's right. Like these were gunning decoys. These were working decoys, not something that listen, I've got one right there, and it's on my mantle, and it'll never, ever see water. I get it. But these fellas, these decoys weren't meant to sit on a mantle and to be, looked at and fondled and all that stuff. They were meant to be out in the salt water, to get shot up, to get abused day in and day out. So... Yeah, Phil, I can see it. I could see the shot holes adding some character to it.
And if you
that being said, as durable as they are, when you're helping on Phil's boat, do not bang them against the edge. They'll let you hear about it.
Oh, did you get yelled at?
There's been a few that have kissed the gunnel, let me tell you.
Did you get yelled at, Craig?
Not yelled at. We were still just, newly acquainted at the time.
Yeah, Craig and I just realized on that hunt that we went to college together.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny.
But one other thing, if you look at the keel design of the Dixies, it is the most like simplistic, design of a keel. And for those that haven't seen it, if you go on the Dixie page or on my page and look in the reels, there's a video that I've put up of a string of divers in a river. And you want to see a decoy dance, and Brad, obviously, you've seen the video. Like the wander is unreal if you're hunting moving water. Like they just swim all over the place.
Yeah, they do have remarkably good action for as heavy as they are, but there's different kinds of motion, right? People want light decoys, and they'll move very easily, but it's kind of an erratic motion. You get a lot of like micro movements in the tiny little ripples, and when you look at a duck, it doesn't shiver, you know what I mean? And in big chop, it just like like a boat, and that's what these do. And so I can nerd out about decoy arguments, but ultimately it's what you need for your situation, right? Like if you are the kid kayaking into some puddle in the middle of nowhere, 24 of our decoys probably not the answer for you, but 1 to 3 of our decoys that you painted yourself and you can connect to the hunt, like that's what we do. There's a reason that Phil has the largest rig in Canada. It's because we don't sell our decoys like that. Like that's not.
And I had more money than brains at that point in my life.
That's not how we manufacture them. That's not how we market them. This is not you're not going to outfit an entire gun club with 17 dozen. That's not how we do it. This is the 1 to 3 special decoys that whether it's sending us your dog's ashes and having us make an urn, which we can talk about, that, or painting it yourself. These are the special decoys that everybody's got that one thing, right? There's decoy people, there's call people, there's gear people, there's everybody's got the thing, right?
Yep.
And like I bring this is my grandpa's shotgun, right? Or my dad wore this jacket when he was a kid, or whatever it is, right? And for decoy people, like I'm a decoy guy. Outside of Dixie Decoys, I'm a decoy guy. I like them. And so if I go out, put out all the decoys, but then there's like the one. Usually it's one of my kids' decoys that are 17 different colors and whatever. This is the one that it's not in the bag with all of the other decoys.
Right.
This is the one that I hand put exactly where I want, and I want it close to the blind and whatever. And there is a bit of a cultural shift, I think, in this niche towards a bit of, there's kind of an approach towards treating it like a competitive shooting event. But I think waterfowling, more so than any other outdoor pursuit, is it's more nostalgic. It's more appreciative of tradition, and it's more sentimental, right? And that's not. I grew up as a kid in Indiana at hunting squirrels, like squirrel camp, and so that's not to say that like other outdoor pursuits, like going to deer camp, and there's traditions. I'm not saying that there's not traditions involved that and people don't, but on the whole, I think waterfowl in general is probably more sentimental about things than any other outdoor pursuit, and that's what our product aims to provide.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with waterfowling, if you're a new and again, not taking anything away from any of the other pursuits, but if you're brand new and you've never ever waterfowl hunted a day in your life, and then you go out and you get bit by this bug, and then you start learning the history of waterfowling in North America, it is very easy to fall in love with the traditions. Yeah. And even though you have no background of the traditions, to be able to say, I want to do it the way they did it on the East Coast, and this is the wax jackets, and you know, and there's fellas that are doing it, that's out there in social media, and they are still doing it the old way, and doing it with the Jones hat and the wax jacket and the gunning decoys and the old payrogue and the whole bit, right? Like it is there is the tradition there that the people that grew up with it, but then there's the newbies that can quickly fall in love with that tradition. That's the beauty about it, because it is cemented. And then, you know, you get into that once you learn about the market hunting and all of that's just another whole level when it comes to that. So no, very cool. I did want to shift a little bit away from talking about Dixie right now, just because it's sort of kind of fresh on my mind. And I know you had a crazy busy day today, Brad, because you were swan hunting, which is something that is totally foreign to anybody up in Canada. So I did want to, you know, dive into that a little bit and talk to you about that and learn more about it, because like I said, this is not something that we get to do up here. So first off, what species of swan is it that you're hunting in the United States? There's trumpet and then there's mute, right?
And this is a tundra swan.
And tundra.
Yeah, and I'm thinking the only two places in the U.S., and somebody's going to correct me, but I think it's Utah and North Carolina. I think.
Okay.
There might be another spot, but those are the two that I'm for sure that you can. It's certainly not everywhere.
Okay.
Little backstory, I didn't grow up waterfowl hunting. Like I said, I was a small game kid in Indiana, and it wasn't until I was stationed where I live now for the first time. I was a hunter, fisherman and stuff, but just waking up to go to work, hearing the guys banging out on the river, you know, and like, I gotta look into this thing. So anyway, who knew that I just happened to live in like the mecca of East Coast swans, you know? And it is, I'm telling you, Damien, when you're out in Hyde County or Beaufort County and the swans show up, man, and they pick up off the fields and then they go head into the roost into like into Lake Mattamuskeet. So I've never been in one of those tornadoes of snow geese. I've not experienced that, but what I have been in is like pterodactyls by the tens of thousands.
Really, that many?
Oh, but they're not knotted up,
right?
Like the snow geese are. They're just everywhere, and they're just massive, right? And that cacophony of them calling, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. They're so graceful. They're so amazing. What's that?
I did a quick Google search on where you can hunt swans in the United States.
Yeah.
You can hunt them in Alaska, Utah, Nevada, North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Idaho.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think where I was thinking was like the destinations for swan,
right?
Utah was big.
North Carolina and Utah.
Really, eh?
I watched.
I seen a video the other day on Instagram, and they were out hunting swan, and it was obviously on the coast, because the wind was up there, right? Like it was just blowing so hard, and they were like filming the swans coming into
midair.
Oh yeah, and they were just stuck there, and I'm like, that has got to be the most nerve-wracking, as if you're sitting in your blind and you're watching them coming in, and just, okay, any minute now they'll be here, because they were almost like helicopters just hovering right there, but they're just trying to get in. It was insane. But they're so big.
They're big and they're very loud.
Yeah.
Loud flyers. So when they set their wings and then pitch where like you can, it really tortures the air around them. I heard the analogy today. I was like, yes, that was it. It's like putting a baseball card in the spindles of your bike wheel, and that's what it sounds like. Like, it sounds like the air is being unzipped. It, just ripping through the air, and it's those big primary feathers just, getting rattled like that. But then when they get down to the ground and they sit down nice and easy, no problem. It's not like a coot or something like that just like crashes. You know what I mean?
Or longtail.
Yeah. That doesn't even try to land. They just like.
There's nothing graceful about that.
Yeah. So, it was great. This is the second time I went out with this guy. His name's Tyler Odell, in Pantego, North Carolina. He runs Blacklands Guide Service. He's just about the premier guy in Eastern North Carolina. And the last time I went out, there was a group of, I don't know, there was easily over 30 of us, and it kind of felt like an assembly line, which was fine in its own respect.
Yeah.
Like when the birds are there, you find them and you set up on them, and you just rotate people through the blind. But it was killing on an industrial scale.
I've never
slaughterhouse.
You start to feel bad for the swans. Like that's really, a lot of pterodactyls, man. But today we just some local connections and other guides in the area. We kind of all know each other, and so we got up with Tyler and we went just ourselves, which was great. We were allowed to take our time and film everything. So we'll put together a cool minute-long video here coming up.
Cool.
But it was great, and the it's like this big buildup for. Like I fired one shot, I think I brought 3 shotgun shells with me. Fired one shot and then that's over. You're done, and you go one by one down the blind to make sure that we're not there's no confusion about who shot what bird, and there's no possibility of doubling up or whatever. So you just wait. You get, whether the group is 1 bird or 15 birds, you take 1 shot at a time.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so we did that. So you do get to. It's not like you go out there and 3 minutes later you're done. But we got to see the birds work, and pick out the difference between a juvenile, like a gray bird, and a white bird, and you can hear the difference in their call too. Like it sounds like a juvenile bird, and this one is more guttural, and it's like a deeper tone. The old Chesapeake Bay Retriever, she Nellie, 9.5 years old, probably her last time going out to do this.
You got that on. I hope you got that on video, buddy, because that's 9.5
how
years
heavy
old.
is a swan?
Oh, it's got to be 30 pounds.
30 or more. Mine's. It's. I grab it with my both feet and lift it up. I'm trying to. Compare that to a dumbbell. They're not light animals.
No, you ain't see no boy can pick that up and come.
No. Well, my wife asked me why I'm not bringing my golden. I was like, I don't think she wants that smoke.
Yeah.
That bird's half the size of the dog, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Even a big Chessie on a big bird like that would struggle.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's more like it's not the weight, it's like the where do I grab it thing.
Yeah.
Grab the neck and drag it.
Yeah. So, but it was a great time. This is the second one that I've taken. So I'm gonna mount this one. It's in the freezer right now, and I got to take it to my local guy here. But get the big old white pterodactyl just coming out of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Zero chance that my wife will allow that anywhere near the house. So that won't be going in. That won't be going in the shop.
What's a swan tag worth? Down there.
I think somebody's going to kill me on this. It's not expensive.
No.
$60.
Oh,
$60.
But you were saying before we hit the record button, you were saying the success rate, because it is a draw system, right?
Yeah.
To get your swan tag. But before we hit record, you did say that it is one of the most successful hunts to get your tag? I don't know how to word that properly.
Yeah, I mean, every year you apply for various lottery hunts, and a swan tag is one of them, and it's very similar to the other, like the Western states with the big game draws and stuff. There's a system and all that, but I've tried 3 years, and I got 2 out of the 3 years. I got it on my
pretty
first.
good. Yep.
Didn't get it on my second year. Got it on my third year. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah. And they also, in North Carolina, you can enter as a party. So if one person in your party gets selected, then you all get selected.
Oh,
so it's a pretty high
success rate
in getting drawn for it. But nothing close to the guys who trying to get tags for a
elk or something,
sheep or something like that.
Yeah.
In our case, moose here in Ontario now.
Well, yeah, you guys, it's nuts. I don't know. It still blows me away that there's you'll talk to people and there's species that people can hunt that, like, there's always something new that you're finding out. Like I couldn't imagine the uproar in Canada, Philly, if we went out on some of these lakes that are up here in cottage country.
Oh, buddy, heads would roll.
Oh boy.
There's people out there who still think Canada's are protected.
Well, this is true. We still have people that say that Canada, that honkers are a national bird and are a protected species. So I guess
we don't have a national bird, Brad.
Yeah.
It's I mean, that goes to the how cute does your animal have to be before it's okay to kill?
No doubt.
Well, and the thing about that is, because you're thinking about, it's very similar to the wolf debate or mountain lions or bears or whatever. In like New Jersey, New Jersey is, aside from North Carolina, is the black bear state, right?
Really?
And New Jersey has massive black bears and a significant population of them as well.
Yeah, but in a small area.
People think teddy bear, right? And so, as the government changes in New Jersey, you see it come in and go out with whether it being allowed or not.
Right.
I guess there's. I'm a fan of hunting anything, as long as there is a utility to it, right? So, I generally don't shoot mergansers. Like, I'll let them pass but I'm comfortable shooting mergansers. Like, I love a good merg shoot, man. They just do it dirty. They're fun, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not the guy that just goes and stomps them in the marsh. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna kill it, you own it now.
Yeah.
And so, make dog food out of it.
Well, I could have shot 40 or 50 of them yesterday.
Yes. and when they show up, there's a lot of them too. So,
and I passed on everyone.
To swans or whatever it's like, I'm good with shooting it so long as there is a use to it. But you're going to utilize it, whether that's eating, training, educating, turning it into art. I think those are all acceptable uses. I'm not a fan of, it's a huntable species, we shoot it just to shoot it.
Absolutely.
Because you can,
Well, we do that with cormorants up here.
Yeah. So this is going to be a very.
Y'all need to. You need to kill a few more of them because they are overrunning us.
Yeah. This is going to be a very. I don't want to say controversial statement on mine, but I'm sure I'm going to hear some blowback on it.
Just give her.
Yeah, and that's the snow geese. So I get it. I get the lure of wanting to be able to sit there and just experience that tornado, that vortex of 10,000 birds, just 50,000 birds just working for you. I do not see the point of chasing snow geese. to the point that you're hunting snow geese, and 50 birds a day is what you're allowed out west. I do not see the point of shooting one person shooting 50 birds a day for let's say a week. I don't what are you doing with all those birds?
Feeding the homeless.
Hey, listen, if that's what you're doing with them, if you're feeding the homeless, then hey, I'm game. Go out and
lifetime supply of pepperettes.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, what are you doing with those many birds?
So and fellas can say this to me. Fellas can say, well, I make pepperettes out of them. So you're breasting out 350 snow geese. You're breasting them out, and then you're transporting them, because if you're if you live in an area where you can shoot snow geese, great, you're coming home every night. But if you're on a hunt somewhere where you've had to travel, so now you're 3-4 days, and now you've got to bring back 200 snow geese just yourself. I'm not a fucking idiot. You're not bringing 200 snow geese back with you. Yeah. Where are you putting all those birds? And that's just one dude. I know I sort of took us off topic here, but
what you're getting at, I mean, the thing that you're saying that you're not saying, it's the trigger time. That's why people are.
But it's what you said. Like you said, you're not in the business of killing something for the sake of killing it, right? Like there has to be a reason why you're doing it, and there's got to be a use for it. And I agree. If you can shoot 200 snow geese and you have a use for them, if it's you're giving it to the food bank or whatever, hey, go for it, do it. But if you're taking them and turfing them in the ditch or whatever it is that you're doing, then I don't agree with it. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm with you. Like, I'll give the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, the answer to your question is like, are you? Yeah, they are. But waste isn't zero. It's not zero, right? Like, there is a certain percentage of people who do go on that, and they're like, They go and they pay for the guide, and they got to get on a plane to go back. I'm not taking all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And the guide day in, God bless his soul, like day in day out of people doing that. It's like, what the hell am I going to do with?
That's right.
And so that's how birds are going to get ditched. I generally, and this kind of goes to my philosophy that you see in our apparel, but like I try to take more of a gentlemanly approach to things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's very gentlemanly to stack a pile of birds in the shape of 300.
Yeah.
I don't know that is I don't know that shows significant respect to the animal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're quit being an innie, and what, they're just birds and they're destroying it. That's fine. Call me all of those things. I'm not saying you got to live like me.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that because of how I approach this. It's not killing for me. The killing that's an unfortunate circumstance that has to get done. I don't mind it. I'm not afraid of it.
Right.
My daughter gets her hands messed like that. I'm not against it, but I don't go out there to do that. I do that because I'm there for the holistic experience, and I want to put that bird in my hand. And if I take the time, and that bird takes the time, even if that bird has 50,000 friends with it, right?
Yeah.
Think about all of the circumstances that had to come together to get that animal in front of you at that time and in that place, and to bring all of those men and kids together in that same time and place. And you had to work and save up money for this, and you had to take time off. All of this that had to come together. You can't convince me that you are there just to pull a trigger, right? Oh, and if I offer, like, you are blindly unaware
of all
everything that is happening around you,
yeah,
right? And so, yeah, if you're going to take the meat home, great. If you're not, find find a way to responsibly use that meat.
Yeah.
And perhaps consider not putting the bill in the barrel of your gun or biting the head off.
That is fucking I was going to get down that.
The bill in the barrel, the beak in the barrel, it drives me bananas.
Yeah, again, and you draw some criticism from like the tough guys or whatever. I just don't know that it's an animal that you killed with a gun. It was unarmed. Like, you're not a tough guy, man. You know what I mean? Like, and it's probably fair. Like 1/60th of your size. It's not a beast that you conquered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like hunting woolly mammoth.
You killed an animal you killed an animal with a firearm.
Yeah.
Like, it's done, okay? We don't have to be grotesque about this. You know, you can treat it in an honorific style. And making a pile of animals in the shape of the number 300, we could probably be better about that. And oh, by the way, you know, you're not helping the cause, guys. You're not helping the cause.
I agree. I think, and Phil, we've talked about this. And Phil has went off on some wonderful rants regarding this subject in the past, but we are not doing ourselves any favors.
We are our own worst enemy.
Oh, we are.
It all starts with flat brims and Sitka. Just saying.
Yeah. You know, this. So I came back to Ontario in the first week in November, and you know what? I've been hunting a lot, but I haven't pulled the trigger a lot, and I ordered 2 cases of Apex ammunition, and I don't think I've went through a box yet. And the reason is that I don't even care if I shoot birds anymore. I really don't. And I know I'm preaching to the choir with you guys, because I know you feel the same way. Like, I'll have fellas come join me on a hunt, and we'll get ready to go, and they were like, "You're not bringing your gun?" I was like, "No, I'm just going to take the dog." I was like, "You guys shoot." I was like, "What do I need to shoot another Canada for?" Like, I don't need it. And the other thing is to play into what our last topic was that I don't enjoy Canada goose meat. If I'm going to shoot it, it's getting turned into burger or a pepperette and stuff. So I don't really enjoy Canada goose. So I don't really want to shoot it that much, because I'm probably not going to eat it. So what I'm getting at in a very roundabout way is that, you know, when you talked, Brad, and you said, you know, if a person thinks they're just going out for some trigger time, well, there's way more to it than just a trigger time. There's everybody's got their own reason, and everybody just says, "Oh, I love watching them cup." Yeah, I get it. Yeah, you do. But I guarantee you, there's something else. There's something else that you love more than your buddy sitting next to you. Yeah, we all love to see them work the spread and come in and just drop from the heavens and spilling air and the whole bit. But there's also maybe a microsecond of something that you see when you're out. But I am a firm believer that everybody does it for a different reason. We all may say the same things, but subconsciously, there's something else that gets you out and doing it. And for me right now, and it has been for a while, it's my dog. I love going out with my dog and letting her do her thing, and she frustrates me sometimes because she doesn't listen, and she's loud and the whole bit. But at the end of the day, that's what I love about it now. I love being out there and being with my dog, and everybody's got their own reason, and I think that's the thing that we need to do a better job at, is telling everybody that whatever your reason is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the same as mine. You can have your own reason. Just go out and do it, as long as you're doing it ethically and safe, then who cares?
Yeah. Hey, there's one question you could ask people and very quickly know what their purpose is. If the season went down to one bird, would you still hunt?
Not a question. Absolutely.
You know what I'd do for in that instance? There'd be 40 days where I wouldn't even carry a gun.
Yeah. You still go out though.
Yeah.
I'd take my Cooey single shot, 20 gauge.
Oh yeah, even more, Philly?
Mid full. Actually, so here's a funny story. So I had a nostalgic moment this season. I went out to my old little pond, and like I got all my stuff ready like the night before. The wife's looking like, why are you like taking like your I got like a nice beautiful Filson Alaskan guide shirt. The wife's like, why are you taking that shirt hunting? I'm like, well, that's actually the reason why I bought that shirt, sweetheart. So like took out the Filson. I got a beautiful Harrell & Sons little wax canvas blind bag.
Jeez.
Took the Cooey single shot 20 mitt full of bismuth.
And your pipe? Did you bring your pipe with you?
No pipe.
No pipe.
But
I'm bringing the pipe back though. Next year I'm bringing the pipe back.
I didn't see a single duck that morning. I had the time of my life.
Yeah.
It's so for me. It's we diver hunt out here and mostly with layout boats and I don't think that I've sat in a layout boat once this season. I run the tender. Part of that is because I got new people with me and I'm not going to just give them the keys to my boat. But I like running the tender. And if the season went down to one bird, you're damn right. I would get all 100+ decoys out there because that's what I enjoy. For me, man, I'll strategize about how we're going to do the set. And like, I like teaching guys how to do it. And there's a certain way to stuff the bags and clip line, decoy, clip line, all this. And I love that. And, finally get back into the blind or get the hunter in the layout boat and pull back. And I sit there and I'll debrief you mess this up and whatever. That's why I do it. I don't particularly care don't get me wrong. I love sitting in a layout boat and watching scoters try and land on your face. That's pretty damn cool. But I don't need to have a pile of birds. Like, just get out there, being in the water, watching other people enjoy themselves. Yeah. I would still go out if there was a one bird limit.
I would honestly take 6 days of going out and getting skunked to going out one day and shooting a limit. So that's 6 days I got to hunt.
Yep, that's correct.
It's not about the killing, it's about the hunting.
So for anybody that's listening to us and they're fucking rolling their eyes and they're like, oh, these guys are a crock of shit. Think about turkey hunting and think about those fanatics. They get one bird.
Yeah, we get two.
Well, but you can't
only
shoot
one a day.
Only one a day, right? But you think about how fanatical that turkey hunters are, because that's a different breed of people altogether. Deer hunters are they're their own as well. But turkey hunters, that's a special breed, and they get one bird. One friggin' bird. So anybody that's rolling their eyes at us right now saying that if the waterfowl season went down to one bird, would you still go? Yeah, you're darn right. But I tell you what, just like Phil said, I would make it into something very, very symbolic, very special. And just like you, Brad, when you said, your dad's jacket or your grandfather's gun, because then that one bird is so special. Yeah. Now that, I am going to shoot it with grandpa's double barrel side by side. That's what I'm going to shoot this bird with. And the beauty about only one bird, and I'm not advocating for one bird per season, but when you miss that one bird, so close.
It burns.
It burns. I was close.
I've missed
everything. Everything. The wind was great. The spread was great. He worked great. I screwed it up because I couldn't shoot, or I shot too high, or I didn't lead him. It is just it is such a beautiful, beautiful thing to be a part of when you break it down. And I think that's we've used this word maturation on this show a bunch of times. And I think that's where when you get a little bit long in the tooth chasing these things, I think that's where it comes down to. You start to realize just how beautiful, and like you said, Brad, all the things that have to come together for that moment to work. Those birds, the wind, the rig, the calling, the people, everything that has to work in your favor to have that memorable hunt. It is something very, very special. Sorry, Phil, I cut you off.
All good. Like I did one hunt this year with my dad, and we shot 4 greenheads, 4 best damn birds I shot all season. Because with my father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100. Absolutely.
And we doubled. Like we had a big flock come in, and it was sheer dumb luck that we each doubled on greenheads. But yeah, it was sheer dumb luck. But yeah, 4 best damn birds I shot all season.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is my best hunt this season. So I had spent all fall out west and just seeing massive amounts of birds. But the best hunt I seen this season was a couple days after the 11th of November. So the 11th of November is, so I know it's Veterans Day for you in the States, Brad, but we don't have a Memorial Day. So the 11th of November is a big day for our military, right? So on the 11th of November, I met a fella. I came here to the garage with a friend of mine, and we were drinking and stuff, and he was just getting into goose hunting. And I said, well, and he had told me he has never shot a goose. And I said, well, we're gonna fix that. We're gonna get you your goose. So earlier that day, I went down, double checked my area, make sure everything was good, and there was a pair of geese that's just loafing down around the cattails. And I was like, okay, I know where you are. You're loafing. You're probably going to be here when we come to hunt. When that guy showed up and we walked down, I said, now listen, walk in front of me. There's probably going to be a pair of geese on the water. I'm like, I'm not going to judge you if you water swat them because it's your first goose. Or you can wait and we can try and get some to work the decoys and you can say that you did it and it's all perfect and beautiful and the whole bit. And he was like, I'm not above water swatting a bird. And I was like, nope. Good for you. I was like, so.
Yeah. My freezer doesn't discriminate.
So I said to him, I said, if you're okay with it, I said, I'm okay with it because it's your first goose. And I said, just walk down. I said, they're going to come out around, once they hear us, they'll come out around this point. I said, you're well within range to shoot. I said, just, it's going to be on the water, a little bit harder to knock them down in the water. I said, but here's your chance to get your first goose. And he did. He got his first goose. Lander went and retrieved it, brought it back to him. I did do a video of Lander bringing it to him for his first goose, but I didn't give the backstory to it. And that's the best hunt that I had this season. Was I got that fella his very first goose, and it was just, and it wasn't pretty, it wasn't beautiful or nothing, but he was so happy because he had been on a bunch of other goose hunts on water, not in fields, and he never ever knocked one down, and he got one this day, and I was like, fuck, I'd done hunts out west where we were knocking down 40, 50 birds a day, and this one was a water swat, and I was like, this is the best hunt I've had all year, hands down.
Yeah, and it sounds perfect.
Like, how better can you get? Hey, listen, walk down there. There's going to be 2 that comes out around the cattails. Just poke one of them.
Pick one.
Pick one. And he did, and he nailed it, and it was good. And I was just like, see, now it's good. So it is, man. It is. I don't know. I don't know everybody that listens to this show, and I don't know what everybody's reasoning for listening to this show is, but I hope that there's just a fraction of people that love the chase as much as what I could. Listen, we all want to shoot birds, and I'm not going to say I don't like it. I don't like getting skunked. I really don't. But I love the chase. I love trying, even though they've got a brain the size of a pea, within that brain, all they know is survival. And they are good at surviving. And I just love the chase of trying to be able to fool those fucking things into coming in. Even if I don't shoot them. I went over the other day, I got that new Invisilab blind from Momarsh, and I just wanted to try it out. I didn't even have her brushed in or nothing. I was like, I just took the dog and we went over. I didn't even take the gun. I took the camera and I put her in it, and I was like, let's watch the geese. And just, to me,
work on steady.
Yeah, like, to me, it is a beautiful thing, especially when things work out for you. Anyways, that's me rambling.
What's y'all's favorite bird?
Oh, for me, it's mallards, hands down.
Yeah. Greenheads.
Yeah. But what I would absolutely lose my mind if I shot a full sprig bull pintail. Like, I've never shot one. I've shot pintail, but not when they're in full, like when they're in full plumage and the big long sprig or anything. Like, I would lose my mind. But then, that being said, I was out west and fellas were shooting spoonies and getting upset over it. And I was like, boys, I said, I'm not going to lie. I would lose my mind if I shot a spoonie. I've never ever shot one. And they were like, you can yell at a spoonie. Like, these are guys from, like, Georgia and stuff, and they were like, you can yell at a spoonie and it'll fall out of the air. And I was like,
yeah. We were having this conversation last night around the oyster table. Like, we were talking about Pacific Northwest hunting and harlequin and stuff, and I said, well, we go nuts over a harlequin. You talk to those guys and they'll go nuts over a wood duck, and wood duck is just like, that's how you start hunting around here.
Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about it, though, is that the thing, who was that guy? Philly came on the show one, Matt Judy, widgeon up in the Pacific Northwest. I've never seen so much widgeon in my life as what this guy shoots, and he's up in Washington.
It's like
Washington
shooting spring snows in Missouri.
It's like crazy how much widgeon he
out
shoots.
of the air.
And full plume, like full cotton top, like, just beautiful. And I'm just like, this is crazy. And they were like, yeah, well, but then I'm from the east coast of Canada, where black ducks,
dime a dozen.
Fucking shoot black ducks. Black ducks are nothing.
Yeah.
It's so awesome, because this is the lure you see of fellas that travel so much, because they want to get that cinnamon. They got to cross that cinnamon teal.
Eurasian
widgeon, right? You know what I mean? Like, they got to get that off the list. And it's not for the sake of killing it. It's because it's such a beautiful, I don't know, this might sound really oxymoronish, if that's such a word, but it is such a beautiful thing that you want to be able to harvest it and say that I harvested this thing, and it's beautiful, and I'm going to mount it, and I'm going to show it off for the rest of my life. And just like what you're going to do with your swan, I don't know. I don't think there's anything else quite like it in the world, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's a special kind of person who does it and appreciates it as well.
And I would hazard to say that 95% of the people that's out there buying their stamp do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think it's just a very small few that makes it look bad for us, right? That are doing the bonehead things. But 95, maybe you can even go higher than 95%. are doing it for the right reason, because they absolutely love it. And then to be able to tie in again back to Dixie Decoys, but when you can tie in tradition, you've already loved something, and now you're tying in a tradition of your grandfathers and uncles and fathers and stuff. It just makes it even that much more special, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know, fellas. We're just over that 60-minute mark, so I think we'll end her there. Did you have something you wanted to add, Philly?
No.
Okay. So yeah, we'll end it here, and I promise you, Brad, it won't be 207 episodes before we get you back on again. Which is funny because like we even bumped into one another in Baton Rouge. Baton Rouge was different and the whole bit. And I know you were busy down there, and I was trying to be busy. Well, I was busy, but I was trying to get around to see everybody, and we didn't get to hang out as much as I'd like to, but we're going to remedy that down the road for sure. Let's do a quick around the table. Philly, to you, my man.
Cool. So now that Brad's retired and growing the beard, like we'll have to get Brad back on in like say 30 episodes from now. See how the beard progresses.
Okay.
Get him back on in like 60, 70 episodes.
Establish a baseline.
Yeah, that's right, buddy.
The progress of Brad.
The progress.
Just like just to bring it back around to the heritage and things of what Dixie means. Like we've since added 2 more hunters to this household. My wife and our oldest have done their courses, so it's just a matter of going and getting their licenses now. But we're going to wait till January.
Right.
There's no point in getting their license now because it's only good for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But,
right.
Like again, like all these decoys that I've got, like they're going to get passed down to the young guys, and then they're going to hunt them, and then they're going to shoot them. Hopefully not. And then they're going to get passed down. Like these are things that I look forward to, and the reason why, like, I'm a part of Dixie. Like, it's the roots, the heritage, and like even if you're just starting from scratch, you're still building that trail behind you. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, 100%.
That's why I'm a proud part of being part of Dixie, and hopefully Brad continues to grow the brand, and I wish nothing but the best for the company, and see nothing. Hopefully get to physically meet you at Oklahoma City next summer. See what happens. But yeah. Wish you all the best, buddy.
Thanks, Phil.
To you, buddy.
Yeah, great chatting with you again, man. It's I've had a long day. Admittedly, a bit hungover from last night, so I'm ready to get to bed. But we don't need to get on a podcast and bullshit about. I know. I'm in the military or duck hunting or anything else, man. I enjoy talking to you guys and shooting shit. So now that I am retired, I do have a little more. It's nice when to go out of the country, you don't have to do like a whole like intelligence debrief and all sorts of stuff. And, if I want to go to Canada, I can just go to Canada.
That's right. Yeah,
and I don't have to ask permission. So
that's right.
I think next year, Brandon and I have you make all of these connections,
of
right?
course. Yeah.
You never call on them. I think we're going to start calling on some of our connections and be like, hey, let's go.
Yeah, no, 100%. Let's seriously, after November of next year, let's seriously look at doing something on the Great Lakes, Philly. We can easily do that, and it would be awesome to have you and your team up here, Brad. It would just be so much fun.
And I don't even have to bring decoys because Phil's got them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hop on a plane. Actually, the easiest way to do it, just hop on a plane, because we'll have everything that you need. You don't even need to bring anything, just your warm clothes. That's it. Which makes it even easier.
Even the drive's not that bad from South Carolina.
Yeah, but it's still a drive.
Yeah.
Planes are a lot more fun. Not gonna lie. Ladies and gentlemen, This was episode 210 of the Union 0430. We are not experts, nor will we ever pretend to be. We're just a group of dudes that absolutely love hanging out and talking about bird hunting and bringing on some pretty special friends to do that. Surround yourself with good people, big love, be good to one another, and see you next time.